Oh, it's 5:22 on the second. And it was 5:21 when I was going to start. But then I was like, I'm going to wait for 5:22. I like that better. So now it's 5:22 on the second. Oh no, my nose starts running as soon as I start talking. My fucking chest, too. Or my side, or whatever the fuck you call it. It's fucking killing me. It's like certain positions hurt worse. And also kind of changing positions. It's like last night when I laid down. Oh my God, I couldn't believe how bad it hurt. The dogs have heard me make so many fucking noises, moaning and groaning and howling. and then and then I got comfortable, and then I had the weirdest fucking dream. It was so long. It was some of the stuff. I'm gonna see if I can remember some of it. And then it was really weird. And then at one point I woke up and I could remember it really clearly, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's like it was like this game kinda. It was weird because it was like this everything, only it was playing out in this other way. And I was like, what is this? And it's like kind of to see it. I don't know if it's like, I don't know. Dreams have always fascinated me, but it is like, especially they did start changing to me throughout this whole thing. And it started being like I'm in a class, I'm learning stuff. But then I start seeing like a lot of stuff that is in a dream is like showing you something, only playing it out in a different way. So anyways, I can't remember the whole thing. And it's weird because it seemed like um Erica. It seemed like it had something to do with Erica. And then it was like her, it's hot. I don't remember the whole thing. It was just weird. And there was like these weird games going on. There's a lot of weird stuff in this fucking dream. It was so weird. That's all I keep saying. It was so weird. It was so weird. It was so weird. And it was like long as shit. It was like it just kept going all night until Stella woke me up one of the times. And then when I was awake, I was like, fuck, I don't want to go back in that dream. That was too weird. It was so weird. And then I don't know if I did. But there's this one part that I was like in this car driving. And then I was messaging my brother, and it was my other brother. And I was telling him about these people that were doing this contest, and they were all digging with their hands like a dog. And it was like at this park, and they had all these people doing it. And there was like some prize down in there for some people. And it was all these like Oriental people. And it was like, all I could see was like this weird control and this, like, oh, maybe you'll win this. It was really weird. And then I started trying to tell my brother, and then that whole thing was weird. And then it was going into this other thing, but it was like these contests constantly all through the thing. So I don't know. It was just really strange. It was like weird stuff. And then one part, I was playing a different part too. I wasn't this character. I was a different character. Anyways, I can't remember at all. It was just weird. It was long, and it was like, so then when I got up, I was like, oh, maybe it doesn't hurt as bad. And then I put some cream on it. And all I gotta do is touch this one spot, and it's like, oh my God, what in the hell did I do to myself? Like, fuck. I am not gonna be sitting there slamming things around. Like, oh, fuck. And then, but then sitting down, oh my God, it's like this pressure or something. Like changing positions is like really painful. Oh, and I'm super hot in here right now. Another thing that was weird yesterday, because there was a couple little days where it was like really cold, and then all of a sudden, it was like yesterday, all of a sudden it turned really balmy. And I went out into the garage, and I was like, oh my God, it feels like a sauna in here. Like, what is this? And I was doing laundry. I was thinking, you know, like if you've ever had your dryer vent, it came loose and it was just going into the house, how it starts to feel. And I was like, so I was like trying to look and see, is the dryer vent apart? I couldn't see it not being connected, but it felt like that. And it was super hot outside. And I went outside because I was still messing with my satellite thing, which now I got it all fixed up. Now it's working. I got it in a good spot. I got the TV, the smart TV hooked into it. I got, everything's working. And so I walked outside and there was like 100 seagulls over my house, way up high, just flying around and around and around and around. And they were squawking and stuff. I was like, what in the world? What is there seagulls way over here? Like, I don't know if there's like a lot of seagulls around here. I know that there was some in Spokane, which is kind of strange. But, yeah, I have no idea what all those seagulls. And I tried to do a video to show it. TikTok wouldn't, I didn't get one single view. Not one in hours. I just took the videos down. I don't even know what the hell's going on with that shit. So I'm sick of all the fucking censorship and bullshit. It's so ridiculous. Oh, fuck, it hurts. Fuck. So, I try and move again. Fuck. So, anyways, the seagulls are up there, and it felt like, I know that when the pole shift thing occurs, like the weather is going to change. Fuck. And it's going to become opposite of what you have, like. And so up north, it's going to be hotter. Oh my God, I can't. Sometimes this hurts so bad, I feel like I'm going to puke. As I'm feeling right now. Like, oh, fuck. So, anyways, when my mom went and got that cream yesterday and is sending it, she said it's supposed to be here tomorrow because my cream is like, fuck, I'm pulling out everything. But I have tried, like, I've put everything on it. I have tried the biotin, is that what it is? Biotin cream. Definitely castor oil with rosemary. But nothing's helping it. And it does push you, like, to be like, God, I just need to go to the doctor. I need to go to the doctor. But then it's like, it's got to be a soft tissue injury. How would I have broken my rib by moving that hard? Like, I can't imagine it breaking my rib. But I broke my rib before trying to water ski behind a speedboat. It hurt. But there's nothing that they can do. They don't do anything for a broken rib. You just have to let it heal. And so even if it's a broken rib, I still got to just let it heal. But I feel like it's probably like I yanked and I pulled like some of the tissue loose from the bone or something, I would guess. But I don't know. But it fucking hurts. And I don't want to spend time and energy to go there and have them tell me that. And then the whole thing, the whole prognosis or whatever, the thing that they would tell me to go do is rest, and then they would give me different stuff to take, though. But yeah, they probably would give, like, well, some of these words that you can't even say, like GABA, and then it has like another, like, pin, and then tin, and then because they don't necessarily just give you, like, you know, oxy or something, which, I mean, some places they do. They did that up in the Appalachian on purpose to take over those people, which there's more to that history, but it was more the history that I already had seen anyways. I talked about it a few years ago. That makes sense why they wanted to take those people over, because those people didn't need them, and they had to. But anyways, to go and just give me stuff that would be really bad for me. And so it's like, no, fuck it. Just got to keep trying to do the cream and just keep trying to rest. But it's, fuck, it is so uncomfortable. It's so painful. I can't even believe it. And how it just keeps going. It seems like, I've hurt myself a lot of times, but it's like it's quicker. Like it heals up quicker. This is like fucking feels so drawn out. Oh my God. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna spend the whole time just bitching. We got it's hard to take in a breath and stuff. That okay. Yeah. And also trying to keep my mind, it pulls it back to the pain, pulls it back to the pain. So I gotta pull it out and focus. And so it makes me feel more scattered or whatever. So anyways, let me focus on that. Okay, let's just go with some of the stuff that I'd seen. So, this Erica thing. Oh my God. It just gets kookier and kookier. I swear to you, God. And there's so many people talking about it. And when you go in and you hear the people talking about, especially like the one group, how they are so against certain people anyways. And then you hear them, which, I can't say that they're wrong. I mean, they're sitting there saying like, his wife is in danger. Like, they're going to do her in, which there's supposedly Erica got $350,000 put into her account right before Charlie. And, oh yeah, which by the way, this is definitely changing colors. So this is another thing that we'll keep an eye on, because, what's in the well is, very high in IRON. And so IRON is something that we need, and we're not supposed to drink it. So I'm not drinking this stuff. It's just from taking a shower and absorbing it through my skin, which I know you absorb a lot, because I swear to God, you start feeling like you smell like iron. So I don't know, but but anyways, I feel like that it is definitely something that my body is wanting, because this is definitely changing colors. So, we'll see how it goes. But I was going to have my brother switch and put this filter system on, but it takes out all the stuff. And now I'm thinking, I just kind of think I want to just play this through and see what happens. Kind of like the tooth thing. It's like I saw something start changing, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, let's see where this is going. And let's see where this is going too. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So, so anyways, yeah, I'm going to leave it for a while, and let's see if this doesn't change into this. So that'll be so fucking cool. But that will also show, well, it'll show like what I have got more deficiency in, but the importance of the stuff in our intake, like what we need to be consuming is those things, they're called min and then rolls. So that is what we need, and what they have stripped bare. But they can't when it's certain, like if this was, coming through city pipes, it'd be stripped bare. It'd be full of a bunch of, stuff that we wouldn't want to be taking in order to clean out all the filth, they would say, which they do need to clean out the filth since they're just taking fucking toilet water. But here, it's septic, and so it goes back into the underground, and then, but it's a leaching system and stuff, but a well still has whatever water, and they're not near each other. So, but it's like, it's so weird when you talk about some of this stuff, because everything is fucking not real. but it's got to be, the sense of it has to be real for the experience. And then the sense of things, then the ground knows what to do with waste, and it feeds into growth. And so it's, I'm sure in that area, a lot of green grass will grow and stuff. But anyways, over in the water area, then where they dig down to and pull it up, then that has different underground, you know, those things I was talking about a minute ago. And so in this case, we have a lot of IRON, and so that, yeah, I have incense going, somebody's sitting here farting too. There's another distraction. It's hellacious. So, fuck. God, I am really having a hard time getting to my breath today. But if it was like a bone, if it was like my rib broke, and there was no pressure, nothing on it. It was my own. I mean, I know I'm pretty strong, but strong enough to break my own rib. Even if it was poking into my lung, I think I would have seen that sooner. Doesn't seem like it's that kind of not being able to catch my breath, but I don't know. If it continued to be like that, then I guess I would, you know, go and see if that were the case. It's so crazy how you can get in your head too about that stuff. But because I'm not just like, when I'm just going around normally, I'm not trying to catch my breath. I think it's the way I'm sitting and talking, and it is it causes it. So it's not like, you know, all day long that it's doing that, but definitely when I'm doing this, fuck, it's definitely hard to catch my breath, and it hurts really bad. So anyways, continue on. So that concentration would be something that I would need if that is what happens, which it definitely seems like it is happening. Like, especially, like, pay attention to this, because that's how it moved before. It moved its way up. Like, it started down here. Like, it doesn't start here and leave it down there. It starts here, starts gaining color, then it moves up, 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 up. So, to me, look at how much darker that is already. So, anyways, let's see. Let's just see how that goes. But the, oh yeah, and I am brushing my teeth with it. And I wonder if that is what is also giving this more of a push. Because it seemed like for so long, it just was like the dentin filling in, filling in, filling in. But now it does seem like enamel's starting to fill in. So, I would imagine that is also helping. So, anyways, we'll just see how that goes. But back to Erica, which it seemed like there was some kind of sense of her weird games and shenanigans haunting into my dreams. But so there's a lot of different perspectives about it. And like some people think like they're doing like this opening to kind of show us the direction it's going to go with certain things that she said and stuff. And then this weird stuff he has said, like his wife, you know, she is Hindu and her parents are immigrants from India and she's dark skinned. And so now he has been saying weird shit. Like he wants to have neighbors that speak English. And it's just like, well, that's a slap in the face. And then he wishes, you know, she would convert over. It's like, well, that's disrespectful. And so, I don't know. I saw somebody saying JD doesn't even exist. He's been like 4 different people. And I just know that they tried to say he was the character who wrote Hillbilly Elegy. Which, fuck, at this point, who fucking knows, man? Who fucking knows? Like, god dang, these people who are constantly showing these other people come in and take over roles of people and take over, and then people who, it's like certain beings that don't age, and they body swap and stuff. So, I don't know. This world is full of just a bunch of weird ass shit. And so, anyways, fuck if I know if JD's a real person or what he is. He's changed his name 4 times apparently. But whatever his thing is, it's obviously to show us something. I don't know what it is. If it's to show the hypocrisy behind religion, possibly. Because it's just like weird shit. And I don't know what the whole thing is with this Erica character. Like there's so much, but just look at how much people have delved into her and how much they've uncovered, which gives a direction of what a lot of conspiracy theorists have been talking about for a long time. And so it opens up that, like, hey, look, this really is real, isn't it? These people really do this weird shit. And there's lots of weird stuff. There's some whistleblower or something that has been on some podcast. And he's in the dark. He's not showing himself. And he says a bunch of weird stuff. It all seems like a fucking show to me. So Charlie became head over heels over her. Didn't really know her. Then he started finding out more about her. But he wanted to hold on to her. But he wanted Donald to release this list. You know, the list I'm talking about. Because that was going to change everything because she's involved. He was telling his friend, she's involved. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, she's part of the network. And he's like, what network? And he's like, you know the ones that go to the islands? You know, the ones that get the, you know, like Jeffrey's role. Those people that she's one of them. But he wanted to keep her. And then, I don't know how, and he has all this evidence. But the guy didn't get the evidence because they took him out before he was able to find out. But so this evidence can all of a sudden show up. All this evidence that Charlie was gathering. So that is somewhere hidden out there in the realm of whatever, disclosure. And suddenly that can pop off. But that he was gathering all the stuff and he knew about her and her involvement and her family's involvement. And so there's more weird stuff that just keeps coming with her. Then more people are calling out, like, you know, like this. She's not mourning. She doesn't seem sad at all. She's out there doing shows and she's, you know, going right into her role as CEO. And more people talking about, you know, realizing this whole cultish kind of thing behind this point that's turning. And which is so creepy to me. But I would say it's either to get the people that follow to see or to expose something because it's so strange. It's just so strange. And then she goes out there to introduce him. And she's got these black leather pants on. Like, what in the nightclub are you doing? You're going up on the stage to talk to all these. And this one girl, she was pointing out that her kind of hierarchy when it comes to, oh, welcome. Charlie has passed in order to bring all these people to Jesus, and welcome. It's like, what the world? And so, and then to go out there in these black leather pants and this tight white t-shirt or whatever, and then her weird gushing introduction of JD, and then him to come up there and them being all handsy on each other after he just did this whole thing talking about all this stuff he doesn't like so much about his wife. And people were showing how his wife used to look and how she looks now, and she looks like she's aged like 40 years. And so I don't know how they're going to play this out. Maybe they are going to do her in, and she's going to go to Valhalla with Charlie, and it's all to show the corruption behind so that they can keep exposing more with the network. And maybe that's what JD, this character, is to expose the network, because definitely, I mean, he pulls people in close that are there to expose things, because there was a lot of, all these different people he's pulling in all the time. But so, anyways, I saw a video talking about there's a whole bunch of people being arrested right now. Lots of judges and police chiefs and stuff like that. So I don't know, because mainstream media is not going to say it, but there's always these people who have their connections, and their connections are telling them this and that and whatever. And so, and then this video of this guy on Alex, that show, and he said that he was called in, and he said that Monday is going to be Black Monday, and it's going to be the crash, and it all goes with the EBT and all of the shutdown, what's going on and other things. He was going into all this detail, so I didn't listen to the whole thing, but anyways, there are lots of signs that this weekend could be the weekend. And then a lot of these politicians keep trying to blame Donald, like Donald's doing this. He's the one who's stopping, which apparently it isn't even something he could do. It's not something that he can go in and say, well, I'm not paying food stamps anymore. That's what we have all this other protective, Congress and all that stuff, because so he can't just go in and do stuff like that. And but they're trying to say that's what he's doing, but it's not what he's doing. And they're saying he's cut it off, so there's no way that they can access anything. So even if people went up and said, hey, I'm going to donate $100 on the EBT, which it should be more like billionaires, it's not like, our $100 is going to do much, which to me, they're going to start in with Jamaica too. Like, donate. Watch out who you donate to. Like, I know it makes people feel like they've done something to give some money, but it's a part of the laundry system, and it doesn't go where you think it's going to go. And whatever happened in HAITI, that proved it. So it was all fucking shenanigans and bullshit. And the people have come out and said, hey, we didn't get shit. It was all this and money, but, certain foundations, they get it and keep it and take it and use it and do what they want with it. And so they're going to be doing that shit. They do it with why they do it every fucking time. So anyways, but then I saw there was a guy who, he was doing like a community food pantry. So he was going and getting food and then making it available to anybody who wanted to come and get some. And then he went out to his mailbox, and it was full of money. Somebody left him this fucking wad of money, all $100 bills. He was all tearing up and crying on the thing, like, oh my God, this is going to help so much. But that's what I had said about watch out in communities for different things of money becoming, or food becoming available in communities, of being, because in our world right now, it's to build community, and it's also to change. So it's like, yeah, I don't think Donald's going to make it where we're going to fund something that is corrupt. And so it would be going into other things. So I would say that it is definitely that there would, I don't know. I don't know what power he has. Apparently he can't do certain things that they say he can do, but he can't do them. So I don't know that he can really say, hey, close down, nobody can donate to EBT. So I don't know if that's true. But if it were, I would say it was because that system is ending and he's starting a different one. And we do have too much dependency. There's way too much dependency. And when you have dependency, people lose faith in themselves. So there needs to be a new direction. Which, there's also this. I don't know who this lady is. This person was talking about Grimes, which I don't know who it is. I don't know if she's a politician, if she's a religious person, if she's a psychic. I don't know. But they were like, you know, maybe what she was really talking about was, so apparently she said something about this population thing. And I can't remember how she worded it, but he was going, maybe what she really was saying was we're going to lose 2/3 of the people. Like, actually lose them. Like, something's about to go down. And he started projecting what could go down, which, number one, the Cascadian subjunctive, whatever that whole thing, West Coast disaster, which that is going to take out a ton of people. Or the Atlas could do some kind of thing from the sky or something, which, you know, they could do the fake alien invasion. But you know, if Donald was Barack or Hillary, then I would say, yeah, probably, you know. But there's certain things that the government would do that Donald would be like, oh, we're not doing that. Like, that's where the two would divide. And when one group wants to do it, see, because there have been arrests of these generals and shit. So, or they've been fired. I think they were all fired. So I don't know if they've also been taken down, but the warmongers, is that was the divide, because you make money off of war. So that group of people, but that is they are paid to, you know, getting their backs kicked by rich, so the people who own the corporations. And it became really apparent or clear during the storm in the desert, in that, because all of a sudden they were setting up all of these certain organizations, these certain corporations were setting up, and they had to do this and do that, and they were going over there making money. And I remember there was something off the water. I don't remember all the things, but it was quite clear that there were certain groups of people who were going on there and profiting. And that's why they, you know, create this stuff. And boys, it keeps us all distracted and fighting and picking sides and stuff like that. So it's multi-layered. But there's definitely a group of people who make a lot of money off of it. And then you have the people who take the kick in the back for making sure that it happens. And so that's where our military became divided. And part of them went with, like, this isn't right. And the other part went with, hey, I need some money. So the ones that were doing it for money, going against the crimes, against, you know, who I'm talking about, the humans, then that's a big crime. So that's a meeting the squad crime. So those people are being round up and being made to the surface, you know, by losing their jobs and stuff like that. So, so anyways, that to me is definitely going on. And so I don't think Donald would, I mean, he's a part of the other group. He's a part of the group that was like, no, we're not. I mean, he's out there signing all these peace treaties and shit, getting everybody to sign peace treaties. And all these countries, oh, we're putting you up for the peace, whatever it is. You know, they're all saying, like, he's bringing peace, and Nobel Prize, peace. So, so yeah, he's not going to be like, oh, fake alien invasion, yeah, that'll wake him up, do that. No, but it definitely seems like something natural happens, and then they, like, have to come into our rescue. And there's, it seems like that there was there's constantly keeps being earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunami, all these different things keep going on, which, you know, I mean, it's going to lead over to the west, especially in the Ring of Fire. So there's definitely something that's going to happen. And so I still think that's what it is. It's going to be this big devastating thing that's going to, I don't think it's that, you know, there could be a you know, invasion. But it seems like almost like that they put a stop to it or something. And then are making all this focus on this thing. But now there's more with these scientists. It's definitely a ship. It's got hieroglyphics or something on the sides. It's got writing. It's got all this stuff. And so, whatever, you know, who knows? I mean, I'm sure that there's real aliens. I'm sure they're really around us and stuff. But whatever this Atlas thing is, could just be a big part of the show. Because it's just all over the place. So, it's not like, no matter if they, it's not like we need the Atlas to land and the Anunnaki to walk out of it and tell us anything. It's like, because they're going to come somehow. They're all going to start revealing themselves somehow. I think some are already working with the government and stuff anyways. So, I mean, they've tried for a long time to come and work with the government, and the government was always pushing them back. So I'm sure that there is some working with them, but I just don't know. I don't see the Atlas as being this big thing and 3/4 of the population goes. I see it way more with this, the disasters and where the disasters are going to hit. That is a hugely populated area, and that definitely would take out a lot of people and create huge devastation. So, and whatever is going to go down is going to be something that we're going to fall apart. It's going to really create a huge change in the world. And that's the thing, is like, it's kind of like that. I don't know. It's like they keep looking at it kind of backwards or something. It's like it's always going to, it's the change. It's not like it happens by accident and then we all become devastated. We came here for this. Like, this was always, it was written in the stars. It was going to end this way. And so it's not something that we need to be all freaked out about. It's like we came here to experience whatever is going to go down. And so and then the third one that he said could be the possibility, I was like, no. The only one that seems likely to me is this disaster one. And so I do think, though, that there is more politicians or scientists or something trying to leak out this information to kind of tell us something's coming. And which is not just the crash of the financial or anything like that, which I saw a video of one of the leaders, I think it was in India or someplace, could have been Indonesia or something, but she said that it's already set. The system, the fiat is gone. It's all gone. And so that's what, you know, like, then why they wouldn't go and try and beef up the EBT, because it's on this old system. So there would be something new that's going to come in, something different. But also it's going to be more of a motivator to get people to not be dependent on it, because it just becomes this generational welfare institute where people just, I saw this young girl, and she said that it was like her parents were on it, her grandparents were on it, and it just became a part of their life. And so it was like, well, why would you go do anything? The government will give you money. So it just becomes like an influence. It becomes a state of mind, a way of being. And that's what they're, you know, because you're not living to your full potential. You're just becoming a product of the government. And so it's like, that's one of the things that is happening, is that it's the push to independence, because that is where you begin to create yourself and become something that is not just a product of the government, a product of indoctrination and stuff. You got to break free from all of that. And so, and a lot of people are stubborn and lazy. They don't want to break free. They just want things handed to them. They want it easy. And they don't realize, like, that's not good for you. What's good for you is learning your skills, becoming, this independent creator and bringing something to the table. That's what really feeds your soul. That's what makes you feel good about yourself. Just being somebody who just takes, it's out of balance. So the whole thing with the givers and the takers, they create a world that's out of balance. And then the people who are out of balance, they don't want to go back into be balanced. They just wanted to stay and keep things the way they are. But that's what's changing. Nothing's staying the way it was. Everything is going to go, and it's going to pull the rug out from under a lot of people. I've said this the whole time. There's certain things that people hold on to. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when it gets pulled away. And so that's why you got to, keep your fingers flexible so that you can let go of shit. You can't just hold on to shit. And then in the spiritual world, then you always know, like, something better's coming. Some better's coming. Some better's going to come. You don't have to hold on to something that's not working because that's all there is. No, the universe wants you to learn how to let go of that. So, and trust that they're going to bring something better in. And that's what is going to go down. But it seems like everything is riding so tight. It's like a horse race when they're nose to nose coming in. And it's like the disaster and the crash. It's like nose to nose. And I swear to God, it still seems like that it's the disaster. This disaster happens. And then it's like all of the money starts coming in to rebuild, to get people to go in a different direction. But it's like the people would take advantage of the money if they didn't have this change in priorities, if they didn't all of a sudden see, like, this doesn't matter. This other thing matters. This doesn't matter. And then right now, it's like everything is about money, 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 trends and stuff like that. And there's something else, too, about this trend of, was it, it's Taylor Swift's new face. And then I saw a girl talking about, and she calls it the Mar-a-Lago condition or something, as these people, they get to this certain status, and then it's like part of the status to look like these weird alien people or something, this weird way they all start looking. They do their eyebrows going up. They do these weird things with their eyes. They fill in their cheeks with all this cheekbone. They suck out all the buccal fat. They puff their lips up like a maniac. And then they start adding all these fillers and stuff that makes their face look really weird and puffy. And then they go and get more. But these people who do, like these certain doctors and stuff that do these MRIs and stuff of people's faces, said the stuff just migrates. So the stuff is in there still. They think, oh, it goes away. No, it just moves. So they fill this in. Then it all starts dropping down here. So then they have to fill in more and more. And they're telling them, oh, it's just your jowls and stuff like that. No, it's full of fucking filler. Like, it's just jowls or filler. So, and then even when they want to take supposedly the stuff out or whatever, they put in more chemicals to dissolve the chemical that's in there. It's so crazy. But anyways, so they're all looking stranger and stranger, but they set these certain trends to look so weird. I saw this guy talking about, like, to all you ladies who keep going and get your lips puffed, that you look good with your regular lips. Like, you don't need to go and try and get these ginormous lips. It's such a trend. And people look so strange. I did it one time, so. And my daughter kept telling me, you look so strange. You look so strange. And now I do think, like, yeah, we just got to like our faces. Our faces, even if to us they don't seem to match because we're trying to compare them to a trend, it matches its own structure. Like, it looks the way it's supposed to look. And we're the ones who become judgmental of it and want to go and get all this stuff done so that we can look good like everybody else. But then it's just becoming, everybody starts looking like everybody else, and it just starts looking so strange when it is so much more productive to learn how to love yourself. to learn how to accept yourself, to be okay with how you look and stuff. So, and when you build up your sense of self, and you find things about you that you value, then you find like your looks don't matter as much as your heart, how you feel inside. So when you feel good about yourself, it's weird because you could take a girl who's very unusual looking, and then she's like, I don't know, a great artist, and you think like, man, she's such a good artist. And she starts feeling good about herself, and she starts being like, man, I'm a good artist, and starts really liking herself. Then she's going out and she's putting out this love for herself, which just generates this beauty. And then so everybody looks at her is like, oh my gosh, look at it. She's so beautiful. She's so unusual looking. She's so, where people start looking, they don't look at her like, oh God, she's a real dog. No, they look at you. It comes from within you. Because when you're radiating self-love, people just look at you naturally as like, man, she looks good. And you set a new trend, like not everything has to be, the certain way that they say things need to line up or whatever to be beautiful. And beauty comes in all different ways, but that same girl who could be like, she's, hooked on the food stamps and she doesn't want to do anything and she hates herself and she hates her life and she's got a suck-ass boyfriend and she's got 2 kids from 2 different dads and she's real down on herself and she just trying to make it and starving and all that stuff. She's going to have a totally different look. Totally different look. And that's what she's going to represent. And she's going to keep thinking, well, if I could fix it, if I went and got my hair done, got my nails done, that'll fix it. But it won't fix it because it comes from inside. It's like the furnace. It's like you gotta heat up the furnace. You gotta heat up the love for yourself. And that's why, to me, they're knocking all this system down. And then the people who are dependent on it, it isn't to punish them. It's to get them to look in different directions, to figure things out, to become more, what is that word? More resilient. I was hearing revenge, but I had heard somebody yesterday, and they were down on their luck, and they're blaming everybody else for their problems. And this boyfriend, if he wouldn't have done this, and this boyfriend, if he wouldn't have done that, and becoming really revengeful and focused on doing those guys like harm or something. And it's like, that is going to get you nowhere. You've got to let go of revenge and hate and bitter. You got to let go of the things where you think somebody has done you wrong. You got to move forward. It's going to hold people, like people don't understand. When I sit there and say it's going to hold you back, it's going to hold you back in this other realm, people don't get it, but it is. That kind of stuff. You were focused on being the victim and it's everybody else's fault, not taking responsibility for yourself. And then even going the next step into hate and bitterness and revenge. So weird how revenge is such a part of our world. Oh yeah, I saw this video too. Okay, so JD, he was doing some other speech. I don't even know which speech. You just see all these clips. So some speech, and he was talking about, oh, how great the Christians are. They saved the world. And they went in and they found all these tribes sacrificing, and they went in and put a stop to it. I mean, that's the way of the Lord or something. I don't know. But he was trying to, make it all about, what great jobs the Christians do or something, which is fucking bullshit, dude. And they, especially to the tribes, I mean, they freaking caused so much harm to the tribes. But I also look at the tribes and stuff as different alien races, different, even the tribes that think that they are the natural beings from this place or something. A lot of them came as colonizing from other planets, other systems, other realms of reality. So they all came here too, a long time ago. And they came at different times. And they could have been brought over by other beings that were more advanced. And they brought them over and, I don't know. But they, supposedly, even there's this whole thing about the archons and the something else. I think this is in the Gnostic beliefs, that this God, Himolate, some guy, and he and the archons started developing this world of control, and that they had to bring in all these other beings from other places. So whatever, a lot of the tribes and stuff are from other worlds. We're not all the same. That's why we all look so different from one another. It's not because of the fucking equator. And so they're all from these different places, and they have different philosophies, different ways of life, and stuff like that. And then as the other beings that were more advanced started becoming more developed, then they started taking over. And so that to me is way more the church and the crown going and taking over at different times, taking over these people and forcing them to go in the direction that they said. And they did, doing tons of those people, and did in tons of their kids and stuff like that. So it wasn't like some good thing that they did. But I saw a person from a tribe get really pissed about this, what he was saying, and saying the guy is crazy liar, that there was no sacrifice. They're the ones who came in and killed all our kids and stuff like that. But there was definitely different tribes that did do sacrifice. There was different tribes that were warring and stuff. It wasn't like that throughout time that there's been like this great, or there was constantly conflict. We've constantly been having conflict and war, and it always is the stronger take over the weaker. And that has been going on, this hierarchy and this dependency and this fear and this hate and this control has been going on. That's what this place is all about. And so there was definitely tribes that, we want the sun to come out again, so let's give an offering. And sometimes it was a virgin, sometimes it was a baby. It was definitely sacrifice that has gone on throughout different tribes. I can't say specifically what time and what tribe and all that stuff, but it's definitely did happen. And the yeah, seems like some of these, like elite, go towards these more primitive lifestyle, like, Hillary going to go learn from, in the HAITI, that from these priests of the voodoo. So they go to learn that stuff. Well, then they start doing these practices too, because there is sacrifices that have gone on. And even in that place, that lake or something, and it was surrounded by tribes, and I can't remember what the lake's called. I can't remember if it's in Utah, I think. But whatever it is, it's like the lake of the crying woman or something. But it's also called something else in a different language. But when the women had kids that had something wrong with them or whatever, they would just go throw them in there. They would just drown them. They would just throw the babies in the lake. And this lake is supposedly full of dead babies, which carries a certain energy too. So yeah, there has been sacrifice for a long time. And but it wasn't like the church people ran in to save the day because they are so wholesome, and they just wanted to come in and control. And then they did more sacrifice, and they're still doing sacrifice. I mean, they're taking them, putting people in prison and then taking them out there, and those are adults. So it goes on. But anyways, that guy was so worked up about it and saying that that was not true, but it really, maybe not in his particular tribe, but there has been, and there is also back with the tribes, there was also the CANNIBLISM, those people who enjoy the same species for dinner. Those, definitely been that. There's definitely been, I mean, there's still tribes, I think, over in fucking in the Amazon and stuff that still practice that. Where is that one? That one is like over, like in East Philippines, like someplace over like by Indonesia or someplace over there, where those people are still practicing it. They're still doing that. They don't go and so much take people out for supper. But there's so many dead people floating in the water, and then there's poverty, and so they just eat the dead people that are floating in the water. I can't remember where that is, but yeah, that's still a practice that goes on with different tribes and stuff. And there was also a practice with some tribes that did it because there was like this ritual of consumption of other energy, and so they thought it made them more powerful. And and then also the battle with the giants. There was a big battle with the giants in the tribes, and the giants were, we were supper for the giants, and I don't know if they started doing that back, taking out a giant and then having them roasted up. I don't know, but definitely has been a lot of violence and a lot of ritual, a lot of sacrifice and stuff that has gone out through the history of mankind, the earth history. Has definitely been a lot of violence and hierarchy, and so that's just true. I mean, he may have been trying to doctor it to make it sound like, the Christians saved the day, but that's not true. And definitely that whole regime is a place for criminals to hide, people who do bad things to other people, and it has a real sense of hierarchy in it, like they're better than other people and then get away with what they want to get away with and do what they want. It's that, see, that's the thing that has to change, is this attitude. It's like a big change is coming. Like, we're still, like, you can look at our world and see the division, the hierarchy, the hate, the biases, the who's just discard them, they don't matter and stuff. That's what's got to change, and that's what's got to be hit hard in humanity. So it's going to be something that's really big and really scary. And I mean, for the Atlas to do something that scary, it would be like, have to go through and just fucking laser down cities or something, and people be destroyed all over the place. But I think it's going to be natural disasters, because it's like the energy of the earth is shifting, and it's no longer going to accept this hate and hierarchy and this division. And so it's putting a stop to all of that, and it's going in a new direction. And after, it's like after this, okay, so it seems like that is this big disaster that occurs, and a lot of people go, but it isn't the last disaster, because it's going to have to affect more places. So there's going to be more, but everybody's going to be so on edge and so scared. And then other things are going to happen in other places. And everybody's going to be real emotionally, like raw, like falling to their knees, scared shitless. They're going to be like really, really scared. But then it's like, once this shake, rattles, and rolls, all the different places, then it's like all of a sudden the energy becomes calm. It just becomes really calm and serene. But there's a lot of changes that occur to get it there. But then it seems like it's going to become super calm. That's going to be when we really are on peace on earth. When we really are to the point of heaven on earth. Where we really are at the time of change. When we really are starting the age of Aquarius. But there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going in that direction. So there's going to be all these situations that happen. They're going to redirect them to go to other places. But definitely this West Coast one is going to be big. It's going to be really big. Because it's going to hit such a huge amount of space. And it's going to, it's such highly populated, dense population. But there's also, in that area, I'm not seeing every single person is this certain way, but there is a certain mentality, a certain way of life that is going to be ending. And it's very superficial and shallow. And it's just this whole superficial, artificial, shallow way of existence is going to end. So things that are going to be going away, definitely hierarchy, hate, division, control, this artificial, superficial, shallow, all of those kinds of ways of being, the ways of existing, they're all going to go. So it's like the wave comes in and takes all that with it. And so everything that holds that space, holds that energy, is going to go out and is going to go. And when it goes, it's going someplace to go and live through that perspective. So it can learn about that perspective because they hold that perspective. Confirmation. So they hold that perspective as their perspective. And so that perspective is going to carry them to a reality to play through. So, and it may be, you know, they're going to not play the same character. They're going to come in and play the opposition so that they can see it more clearly. Because that's the thing, is you got to come in and play these different sides so you can get more clear of how it is your focus is. Because your focus isn't giving you the whole thing. I mean, even just think of like the life review. Why would you go in and see everything from everybody else's perspective over what you did? So there's a lot of learning from it. And that's what everything based on reincarnation is all about, is going in and playing all the different perspectives, the role, the opposing role, so that you are getting the insight to why things are the way they are, how you get to be the way you are. And you know, because we sit back and we judge, you know, different things. But that judgment is going to hold people. It's going to bind people into their next role. So it's the preparation for the next role. And that's kind of like when you see people and they're very judgmental and hateful and stuff like that. It's kind of like you see them prepping for the next role. It's like, oh, you see where they're going. So, but that's what seems like to me. It's going to be this big natural disaster. It's going to freaking be devastating. Then it's going to ripple through. Then there's going to be more. And people are going to be like freaking the fuck out. And then there's going to be a lot of that is going to be taking all that energy away. And then once that energy is all gone, that's when it's just all of a sudden going to be like this peace. Like we're in the storm. We're in the storm already. We can sit here and we can focus on what the government's doing, what's Donald doing, what's all. Really, that doesn't matter about any of that stuff. And when it does seem like to me that, I mean, the money thing could start falling apart now. But it still seems like it's a close race with this disaster is right on the edge of happening. And it seems like that is after some disasters happening, that's when it really is going to be money going back into the rebuilding. And so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like, well, let's not just give all the money out because they'll just go recklessly spend it. Let's hold the money back for a while, because then when it's really needed to rebuild, it needs to be there. So this devastating thing that happens, which all of the survivors would be left with no homes, and it's going to be so much devastation, man. And so all of those survivors will be trekking it over. I think they'll be hoofing it, man. I think that there's going to be, things will go down, especially in the areas of the devastation. There won't be power and stuff. There won't be any way to get gas. People's cars will be running out of gas. It's going to be just like in the movies. There's going to be cars running out of gas. There's going to be people who are going to try and fight people, and there's going to be people who are going to do other people in, trying to take their car or whatever. It's going to be really violent, I think, when it becomes the desperation of survival. And that right there is not going to be, you're not going to survive to go into the new realm. You're going to be, something's going to happen if you are that way towards other people, because the ones that are going to go forward are going to be the ones that come together in peace and love and helping one another, not the ones that are trying to take and be violent and stuff. That's not the way to survive this, because it's the changing of the energy. If those people with that energy, they're going to go someplace else. So, and it could be so crazy as that they, another disaster gets them. They get through that one. It doesn't change them. They just stay their same hatefulness. And then another one comes in and gets them. So, anyways, it'll be crazy stuff like that. This fucking fly. I swear to God, you kill one and there's 10 more shows up. It's like, what the fuck, man? So, anyways, that, to me, it seems like that's how it would kind of play out. And it seems like we're so on the edge of this disaster thing. Like, it could happen at any time. And I don't even know, like, because now being in Idaho, it's like, if the ground starts shifting that much, how far will we feel it? Like, and it's going to ricochet underneath the ground. So there'll be some, some horrible things happening over here, but it's going to ricochet over here and cause some bad things over here. And that's what I'm saying. The people over here are going to be freaking out. It's not going to be like, well, it's not going to affect them. They're on the East Coast. They're not going to care what happens on the West Coast. No, it's going to be a ricochet. They're going to be like, it's going to be super scary. It's going to ricochet, and it's going to be like hitting all over the place. But, and then don't think it's just going to be like 1 week. I think it's going to be a while. And then, not years. I would say probably that concept of like the solar flash and stuff, where people are like in 2027, that's when everything changes. But it could be 2026. I don't know. But seems more like that. More like that is the point where we could become like peace on earth. But it's got to go through all of this craziness, because it has to weed through people's their attitude. So that's what the shaving off is your attitude. And then that's what will, guide you into where you're going. And the attitude towards the age of Aquarius is all about peace and love and acceptance and forgiveness. And it's to go in for people to experience about love and peace. And a lot of people carry that in their heart. And so it's going to be real natural. But that's where I think that's where the money is going to start really coming into our world. And then the med beds and all that stuff. It seems like, to me, every time I look at it, it just constantly seems like this big thing happens. And then it's going to be, and the big thing, if, it probably is this 2/3 of the population going. And so, which I don't think it's going to be just like, the sky opens up and everybody just floats up or something. Maybe there will be some people who float away, who knows. But it would be because they're not here for this other vibration. Everybody's going to go where their vibration takes them. But here, where, this place is, this vibration is going to be about peace, love. The one that's going to ride out with the earth is about peace and love and heaven on earth and all that stuff. And that is, that is when, so it'll go through these devastation and stuff, but then it will be like after, like after a storm clears and you walk outside and it's like sunny and beautiful and there's birds chirping. It's going to be like that. And suddenly it's going to be like this peace. Just peace comes over the earth. And then it's like she's shifted around. She's changed. She's rolled over. She's gotten herself comfortable again. And we've rode the storm. And then we have healed and we've rode her energy to match her vibration. And then we come out of the storm into this peace and this, the birds chirping and stuff. And so that to me seems like how it kind of changes. And it seems like we're right on the edge of it. It definitely seems like we're right on the edge of it. And to me, it seems like the best thing to do is just, be endearing to people, like everybody. Like, don't be fucking writing the rules of Thanksgiving. Just be glad that if we make it until Thanksgiving, be glad that you got to enjoy that time with them. Put more energy into really enjoying your people and any people that you have that are important to you. And then it's really coming to the surface is this whole thing of cutting off your parents. That's really been blowing up lately. And parents are really sick of it and being labeled of all these things. But then these kids are showing that they're the real narcissist. They're the ones who don't want to, they're the ones who are being so hateful to their parents and stuff. This girl, this mom wrote this note. I think her name's Tiffany or something. So her mom sent her a letter. It was very sweet and, telling her how much she loved her and that when she's ready to talk, and she's sorry for anything she ever did to hurt her and all this stuff. And it was very caring. And, there's lots of us who, would like to have some kind of thing like that. And the daughter is just so, how dare her? If she really cared, why would she even write me? It's like all the stuff this girl was saying, it was like, you think you're making your mom look bad, but you look like the psycho. You look like the narcissist. You look like the hateful, bitter person. I mean, especially just all the nice, heartfelt things your mom said, and then you're turning and saying, you're not, fuck her, you don't have anything to do with her, and how dare her even say anything to you? It's like, oh my God. So it's all, everything is flipping. It's like these people who thought like that was a good idea to cut people out of their lives, but, and then try and control them, make them do what you want and stuff like that. But that's showing that you're the one with the issue. Just like that girl trying to send out all the rules to everybody for Thanksgiving. Now nobody's going to her Thanksgiving. It's like nobody wants a ruler. Nobody wants somebody telling them what to do. You're the narcissist. You're the control freak when you feel like you have to do that. And you're the one who's hateful and bitter when you have to cut people out and you can't find forgiveness in your heart. And then plus to think like we don't all make mistakes. Yeah, as parents, we've all made mistakes. There was nobody fucking telling us how to do it. We're just fucking going by the whatever it is called. We're just trying to figure things out each day, and most of us were broken. It's been generational breakdown for a long time. And so then to just hold on to resentment and anger towards somebody who was also struggling and not having any empathy or compassion. So the best thing to do is work on your empathy and compassion and your forgiveness. And not just hold on to bitter, hateful resentment and try and control everybody and be judgmental and stuff. So, but those things will hold people back. That's where, they'll go and learn more about it so that they can see. And because there's no way to move into higher realm, higher dimension when you're holding on to all the low vibration stuff. So you have to go play it through. You have to go through the lessons to learn how to let it go. And I would say that there's just a lot of people already here who've already went through the lessons of letting it go. And that's where we're going to see this big. Those people will be the ones that go into this other advanced more realm because their vibration matches it. So it's going to go into that vibration. But anyways, at this point in time, I would definitely be, trying to just enjoy the people and stuff, because there's gonna be, I mean, when there's if 2/3 of the population is gonna go at one time, that's gonna affect most of us. We're all gonna lose people. And and the thing is too, is when you lose people, that's where you get stuck. And you wish you would have done this different, you wish you wouldn't have said that, but that's all lessons. That's all lessons. And as long as we're here trying to learn to become better people, that's going to keep the storm brewing on the planet. It's once that passes, that's when we're going to open the door to this new world. But as long as there's still of that tension, but in order to not have that tension so much, it's to enjoy the people and spread kindness and love and acceptance. I was even thinking about this with somebody because they had said something like, "Oh, I didn't know that," and then I'm thinking, I know I said that, I know I told you that, and then I thought, you could go into a situation like that and try and shame somebody. I told you, you should have known because I already told you that. But then what's the point? Why do you need to shame somebody and make them feel bad if they don't remember, they don't know it? That's just what it is. Whether you said it or didn't say it doesn't really matter. They didn't absorb it. And to try and shame somebody for not absorbing something that you had said is, just spreading this shame, this hateful side of you to come out. And it's like, what's the point of that? And it's way more about acceptance, like just accepting people, because everybody is struggling. Everybody's doing the best that they can. Even the most hateful people, that's just how much pain they're in. And, we just got to be a lot more forgiving, a lot more considerate, a lot more kind, because those are the things that will haunt you. When people leave, you'll be haunted by your own behavior. You're not going to sit there and hold on to their stuff. They're going to suddenly be moving to saint, like they did nothing wrong. They were the best people in the whole wide world, and you were a horrible monster to them. That's just how it works. So when you approach every interaction thinking like, I want to be able to think of myself as being a good person, I don't want to sit here and hold on to, looking at all these dark sides of myself. Put your best foot forward. Lead with kindness, lead with love, lead with forgiveness. And when you can't offer that, go into yourself and try and figure out what you're holding on to and how you can let go of it. Because you want to move through this time period, however long it goes, maybe it's going to be months. Maybe it's going to, maybe they're going to drag this money thing out and just keep swirling around. Maybe they'll get a couple of drops in the bucket here and there. But when the real switch happens, where they really start dropping in the big money to build new communities and stuff like that, I think it's after this disaster. But that doesn't mean we won't get some, like $5,000 check here or something, $6,000 or, $1,500, whatever. If there's not going to be some kind of little bits that are going to come to try and keep us afloat. But I think that the big change may come after the big change. So anyways, that's what I would really be mindful of who you are and your behavior and how you treat people, because those are the things that will hold you in shame and guilt. And shame and guilt are hard to get over. And, you know, I mean, just my impatience, you know, just a replay and replay. And each day that I can go through a day and not be impatient, not be crazy, then it makes me feel better. So having awareness of your issues and then working on them and then being happy with yourself and being like, oh, I did better today than I did yesterday. That's a win. You know, look at the little wins. You don't have to be perfect. That's an illusion. That is something to keep you feeling inferior, is that you have to be perfect. You can't be perfect. You're always going to be a fallible, plausible, whatever. You're always going to have flaws, and you're always going to have things that take you down, take you to your knees. It's part of the human experience. So I would, you know, just notice the things that you want to work on and then just work on them each day. And each day, try and do better than the day before. And each interaction with somebody, try and lead with kindness and consideration. Don't come at them like, you know, with bitterness and hatefulness. And so, anyways, that's what I would say. And I know, you know, so much people can't really do that when they don't love themselves. You know, that's why it always comes down to, you got to love yourself. You got to see good things about yourself. And that's what this whole the system falling apart, is because people are so wrapped up in the system. They don't even see themselves as a whole. They don't even see themselves for who they are. They see themselves as a product of their environment. And that's why their system is doing them a favor by pulling out so that they can learn more about themselves. But like I said, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Anything you hold on to, it's going to get pulled away from you, because this whole thing is going down. The whole game. It's like, just think of it as like a Jenga game, and each piece comes out and it becomes more and more unstable. And if you're holding on to any of those pieces and they all crash, what happens? You get crashed with them. So when it pulls out, you got to step back. Step back. Okay, let's just watch where this goes. Let's watch where this goes. It's like this whole fucking weird thing with JD and Erica. It's just so weird. And all I can think of is that everything is to, you know, to get us to look deeper, to get us to see things, to get us to see things we hadn't seen. And, you know, if they are this couple is going to come in, and are they going to do in his wife, and then they're going to get together and think that they're leading us through the Christian corporation of, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know where all this is going. It's really weird. But anyways, and then when you go out and listen, there's so many different people's perspectives over what is happening, why it's happening and stuff. So I don't know, you know, it's definitely weird. Like, stuff just gets weirder and weirder. And so, but I do know where it's all going. I do know where, yeah, but that also depends on where I'm going, you know. And there's other people who see different things, because we're not all going to the same place. But I definitely see where I'm going. And it is the things that don't match that vibration are leaving. And it's going to be a peaceful, beautiful place. And it is like a whole new experience. But I mean, I also know how you got to get there. And you got to do forgiveness and love and prioritize, you know, those kind of more positive ways of existence, not focused on, you know, victim mentality is, oh my gosh, she's like nursing the air or something. Sometimes she's such a cute little baby with her little baby breath and stuff like that, but it can be such a terror, and she's so huge. Like, when she goes and she lays down on top of me, I can't fucking budge her. It's like, how much does she weigh? She's got to be like 60 pounds or something. I don't know, trying to move her on the bed because she wants to lean right up on me, trying to move her. It's like, fuck, man. I cannot budge her. So, and trying to pick her up, it's like, oh my God. She's going to be ginormous. She's not going to be as big as Stella. but she's definitely going to be big and stocky. So anyways, but I was a lot more patient, even though she peed 2 times in there yesterday. And she goes to this fucking rug. I just had washed it from her last fucking pee. And then she pees on it 2 more times yesterday. And it's like, oh my God, it's going to drive me insane. And I think she peed on another one too. It's like, man, you gotta be so on top of this fucking, I don't know. I assumed, I guess, that she would be potty trained at this size, but she's still a baby, so. And then she does have the puppy breath. That's what's so cute. And then she gets the hiccups all the time. She does so many puppy things, but she's so giant that it's just like, oh my God. Anyways, I did better with my patients yesterday, and I'm going to do better today. Otherwise, you know, I would just feel horrible about myself. I would feel like a monster. And then I don't like myself when I'm yelling and screaming so anyways, but that's all you can do is work on yourself and give yourself reasons to like yourself, you know. But that's the key. Learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody else, and learning how to have the day you want to have. To me, that's where you need to focus your energy. But you know, everybody's got their own places, their own ways of going at things, and it's all gonna play out the way it's supposed to play out. That's for sure. And we'll see. Like, I'm not saying this is exactly how it's gonna play out, but that's how I see it, and it makes sense to me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see where this day brings us. We'll see where. So there's this Sunday. If tomorrow is the Black Monday and everything crashes out, then, but then today also could be like major earthquakes and volcanoes could go down. Anything could happen at any moment. That's why it's just like you gotta be ready. Like the lights could go out today and not come on for days. It's like you just gotta be ready for anything to happen at any time. That's what it seems like to me. So we'll see what this day brings us, and then we will talk about it tomorrow. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.